All right, legends, the price of Bitcoin is claiming the highs of Wednesday, managing to hit $95,000. So are we expecting follow through? On yesterday's live stream, we were expecting the highs to be taken at some point, detecting all of this consolidation that we formed between Wednesday and Thursday was highly likely going to be a corrective move. And the probabilities here still lined up for the bulls to take out $95,000, which we have just done now in the last hour. So what is next, right? We understood that all of this looks corrective and not impulsive to the downside. So we were highly likely going to be ranging and take out the highs as explained on yesterday's video update, also on the live stream, looking for $95,000. So what is next for the price of Bitcoin? Make sure to stay tuned because we'll be talking about slightly higher time frame. What we're looking at, we still have that massive point of control sitting at $96,500 range, right? Where we do also have the golden pocket, the most respected Fibonacci retracement on any asset, right? Taking a look at the all-time high to the lows. Will we manage to push through or are we going to front run it? Well, I'm going to explain here this local movement to the upside most importantly, right? We do have the nice leg here to the upside from the beginning of April, sideways momentum, and then our next leg up. Now, the question is, of course, the bulls are going to be like, yes, this is going to be absolutely epic. We are expecting a correction, another push to the upside here to create a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulsive move. Or can this be an ABC move to the upside? And we are going to start correcting down pretty aggressively in the next coming days. Most importantly, we need to detect where we at here, looking at the last few days, this nice, beautiful pump. So can we already label this movement to the upside as your wave 5, right? We would be expecting a little bit of follow through here. Has this been your ABC correction? Very nice and easy to detect. We did look like that we were going to form a little bit of a range here. This doesn't look terribly impulsive. So if this is going to be impulsive, what we're expecting right now is follow through, right? We want to see follow through to the upside. Worst case scenario in this area, we do form a flat and we sweep up the lows, getting down to the value area low of this consolidation of the last few days. I mean, that would be pretty epic here if this is going to be impulsive. We got the ABC flat, and then we get the next movement to the upside in your wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, and then we get the pullback down, okay? So it is going to be choppy. We could be seeing higher levels, all right? Could this be the top? Well, the problem is of this being the top on your wave 5, there is one issue here for this to be the top of your wave 5. We have moved up in a very 3-wave structure. So worst case scenario is that we are still inside of our wave 4, right? We're still inside of our wave 4. However, the timing is getting a little bit overextended. When you see your wave 1, your wave 2, your wave 3, your wave 4, if we were to form a flat here, ABC flat, which is possible because an ABC flat is labeled with your A wave, a 3-wave structure, your B wave, a 3-wave structure claiming the highs of the start of your A wave, and then a pretty aggressive sharp move down in a 5-wave impulse to sweep up the lows. That would be actually pretty damn nice, right? Where you're actually coming down to the 382 Fibonacci from the pivot low to the pivot high right there, right? A little bit of a shaky movement where a lot of people are not expecting. They would say that this is a double top scenario and we are going to start crumbling down if we were to get down to 91,500, right? Well, eventually we do have the support. We have the 382, 50% Fibonacci, and of course an expanding ABC flat would be actually coming all the way down to the 50% Fibonacci. Let me just explain here right away with your Fibonacci from this pivot low of your wave 2 to the pivot high of your wave 3. And we do take a look at the extension. If we were to form a flat here, sweep up here below $92,000, maybe get to $91,000 range where we do have the 50% Fibonacci, getting the extension from the high to the low to the high right there, your 1.618 extension is actually sitting below $91,000, between $90,000 and $91,000, where that 50% Fibonacci is. Now, the timing would still be okay based on the timing of your wave 4 compared to your wave 1. You're still very much inside 1-to-1 to 2-to-1 on length, okay? So it would be okay to say, yeah, a flat is still possible when we consider timing, taking your wave 2 low to the high of your wave 3. you're just crossing the 1-to-1, so it's still very much possible to sweep up the local lows right there, where we want to see some proof of support, right? So if we were to see that movement down, we are still inside of our wave 4. We just formed a 3-wave move down, a 3-wave move to the upside, and then we start moving down aggressively here, down to the $91,000 range, right? This is the moment of, whoa, is this been a double top and we're going to go to much lower levels? Well, what we want to see is proof of support. If we are still inside of our wave 4 and we do expect a wave 5 here to the upside, what we want to see is proof of support, exactly at the 382 50% zone, right? In between $90,000 and $91,500. That is where we want to see the price stopping. Now, the most clear sign of strength that you do want to see is a significant bounce in a 5-wave structure. If you do get this bounce, it will be looking incredibly good for the price to finally get that leg to the upside to get to $96,000, $97,000 to complete your wave 5. This is what we are going to be mapping. Of course, the weekend is coming. Weekend can be very rangy, very choppy, all right? So maybe we get that movement down throughout Friday to complete our wave 4 in this flat. And we need to, start ranging between $90K and $91,000. That would be the ideal scenario. Is this possible? Absolutely. The trading plan here is going to be come down there and start seeing proof of support and get a bounce, and then we'll analyze a possible long trade again to get that movement back to the upside, maybe hitting $96,000 and $97,000. Hey, what if this has been your wave 4 already, right? We've seen the wave 4 yesterday. What you talked about, this being the wave 4, okay, in this area. And now we are just getting that push to the upside in your wave 5, right? And we're going to extend to higher levels. What we want to see in this case, eventually, worst case scenario, this being your wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 on the formation. And if you are going to be forming a higher low here, what you want to see next is the next big push in your wave 3, followed by 4 5s, 4 5s. And this is what's going to be interesting. If we develop this price action, in the next 24 hours, where you're forming multiple 1-2s, you stretch your legs here to get to $96,000, $97,000, and then you start forming a reaction here, followed by 4 5s. That is where I'm going to be looking at this as a completed wave 5. This would be the moment that I would be very interested in speculating and looking for a short position, okay? Multiple 1-2 setups on the formation. We stretch our legs here in our wave 3, and then we want to see that reaction. We would have a completed 5-wave move to the upside, and after this formation, I would be expecting a leg down at least to $91,500, okay? It's not going to be easy. I know we need a bit of more information, okay, as we do have the price action develop, and that could be one of the scenarios. Another scenario internally here is looking for an ABC flat. So you have your leg wave 1, A, B, C, you sweep up the lows. We do have the Valley area low. That could be an interesting support zone here. Also hitting the golden pocket from the low to the high. This could be an interesting scenario to get another extra leg to the upside. That is if we're not forming the larger ABC flat. All right, and then we get the movement to the upside. Okay, so we want to be a little bit cautious here on the larger ABC flat scenario, as explained, okay, that could come down to the $90,000, $91,000 range, right? Very, very punchy kind of price action to then maybe in the next coming days get our next leg to the upside, okay? So pay close attention. This does look very 3-wavy, doesn't look too convincing for this to be, a third wave for the moment. So the best case scenario for the bulls is actually forming a 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. This is going to be very interesting for the short trade all the way down here to $91,000 range. And if we do form a flat, what we're looking at here, ABC flat, you get your third wave, 4 and 5th wave. That is the moment that you are interested in looking for the rejection to jump into the short to come all the way down to the lows here. This would be an epic trade. I will be looking for this trading setup. And if we do come down to sweep up these lows, I want to see proof of support, right? ABC flat, very much a possibility. Still looking at the price action, the 382 to the 50% Fibonacci is where the price needs to hold. First sign of strength here would be getting a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corrective move we're looking at bullish CVD divergence, preferably next leg here in your third, fourth wave to complete your fifth wave. And this is the moment where we would be looking for a larger move to the downside, legends, okay? I know it looks very confusing when we are looking at all of these different, possibilities, but it's simple. We get down to this zone. I'm looking for a first leg to the upside. I'm interested in longing here the retracement. If we do get a 1-1-2 scenario here locally, where what I want to see is your third wave, let it go where it needs to go. Start forming a range and 4-5s here, looking for the double, triple tops to then get the leg to the downside. I need this price action. If I don't get this price action, I will not be interested in the short. So this would be the shorting idea, looking for the 4-5s. If we extend here to $96,000, $95,000, if we get the push to the downside and we do form that ABC flat, boom, 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 we head down here to the 382 50% Fibonacci from pivot low to the pivot high. The moment, instead of sniping here a long position, speculating on the ABC flat, I mean, you could really speculate as a sniper at the 1.618 extension from this high to the low to this high right over here. This could be a little bit of a sniper trade. 1.618, it's at 90,100 if we were to come down here pretty aggressively for that expanding flat structure to then get the bounce all the way back up here to the highs, okay? You could sniper this level, treat it as an SFP, long stop loss, and then you're looking for all of this entire movement, okay? So we got interest of shorts and longs overall on the higher time frame. I have to say that this is going to be a tough nut to crack, to break the $97,000, $96,000 range. Massive resistance in this zone, and we've already had a massive pump of $10,000 this week, meaning that getting an extra $10,000 pump with no proper pullbacks, at least to the 382 50% Fibonacci, is an unlikely event, okay? So just be aware, all of those people that are extremely bullish and calling for all-time high and that we're going to absolutely snap. It is highly an unlikely event here, and we would be looking at major resistance at $96,000, $97,000, okay, to get the choppiness and then a larger pullback, guys. Stay aware. Be cautious. Remember that you do have an insane bonus down below with weeks, okay? You get 20% deposit bonus up to $2,000. You wait 3 days on your futures account and you'll be getting that airdrop. 25% discount also when you sign up with a second link down below. You just need an email and a password to sign up on Weeks Legends. Thank you very much for joining today's update, guys. Stay cautious. We are heading into some resistance. It can get choppy. Make sure to look at the price action, how I explained the movement to the upside. We have a possible shorting scenario if we get a few 4-5s starting to get choppy in that fifth wave. If we move down in that ABC flat, we want to see proof of support and then possibly jump into a long position. We've got a nice order block here as well, round about the $91,000 range. So an ABC flat, would be actually pretty nice, but it does look like that the price, wants to attempt to continue into this fifth wave. So let's see if we do develop that kind of price action choppiness all the way up to that point of control of the range of 2024 and 2025, right? Very, very important level that we need to be paying attention. I don't think that this is going to be an easy level to crack, okay? Could we get some volatility above it? Absolutely. But I'm very, very skeptical of the price just shooting up to $104,000, right? In the next coming hours, next coming days. Stay cautious, guys. Much love, and I'll see you in the next one.